Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if they're sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 140. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benezowitz. I'll start with the positive from tonight. We have basketball to react to. At least from a Nets fan perspective, that was awful. Nets get crushed, destroyed by the Pelicans in Brooklyn, 130-108. While the Knicks, a thrilling overtime loss to the Grizzlies, 115-112, but we're back. Ep 140 has hoops to react to. Thank the basketball gods, but such a shit fest from the Nets. And the Knicks, well, they lose, but not the shit fest. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I told you Cam Reddish was the future. He was. No, I mean, it was a tough loss for the Knicks. Took them to overtime. Tough loss for the Nets. They didn't show up. And we'll get into all of that soon. But first, Mike.
Yes, sir.
We are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Bad Weather Fans is. So NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back. So tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Like if the Knicks won tonight, I would have gotten free money. Check this out.
On the other team.
In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings Stepped Up Same Game Parlays. If RJ Barrett didn't shoot 3 for 18, I might have won my parlay tonight. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, Optin, and place a stepped-up same-game parlay today. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet on the NBA, and that is true. I like tomorrow night, or today when you're listening to this, I like the Lakers. They are getting 5.5 at home, I guess, quote-unquote home, versus the Clippers, but it's a plus 195 money line, and I'm going to take that. That's my bet. That's what I would do. So if you're looking to bet and you want to lose, just pick the Lakers tomorrow night or tonight, because I probably never win. But anyway, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code BWF. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code BWF for Bad Weather Fans. That's BWF for Bad Weather Fans. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Man, I feel like 2021 into 2022-23 season, just like an extension. I know Knicks fans will feel a little bit of encouragement and have a moral victory tonight because their team did look pretty good and came back down 19 versus the Grizzlies. So you have that feeling. And then on the net side, just atrocious. Like it was an extension of last year. No heart, no energy, no enthusiasm. And it's amazing, Alex, because we started one of our previous episodes, like 138 or 139, which coach should get fired, will get fired first. Explained Steve Nash should be fired. I mean, legit, after watching this performance where they had no life, no energy, like credit to the Knicks in the second half, because they came back down 19 to the Grizzlies and made it a game. The Nets, I don't understand how, okay, you come out flat to start the game. That happens. Then you cut it to 8. And then you go into the third quarter and you have complete lack of energy. That's pathetic. That's fireable. You can't have Steve Nash clapping on the sidelines every game. There has to be tangible change. So I know for your side of things, Alex, like the Knicks lost, and maybe we will go deep into the rotations, but at least showing some fight, some actual energy and fight down 19 to take the lead in the fourth, but then eventually lose in overtime.
Yeah, it was a tough loss. I mean, they showed that they can actually play well in the third quarter, which is something that they could not do most of last season, which was nice to see. And they came back. They didn't really have an offensive game plan most of the game. The Knicks, it was bizarre. And it was boring. It was kind of like you were watching the Knicks with only two new players, which is what they are, And it was boring. And RJ would have probably the worst game of his career, 3 of 18 shooting. Hopefully it's just one game. I'm not going to go crazy over it, but hopefully he's not playing like Deion Sanders used to have an expression. He's playing with heavy pockets when a player gets paid, and then all of a sudden they don't play as well. But I don't think that's this. I think he just was pressing a little bit and just couldn't hit a shot. And it wasn't even just the threes. He couldn't hit layups. Like he had point blank layups towards the end of the game and like floaters. These are the things that he makes. And he just couldn't hit anything. It was like insane. And if he hits a few layups, the Knicks win this game. it's just insane, man.
Hey, at least, RJ Barrett made one more shot tonight. He made 3 shots. Ben Simmons made 2. So RJ Barrett made one more shot than Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons 2 for 3 from the field tonight.
Wow.
Was awful.
He's going to set the field goal percentage record at this rate.
You think you're like complaining about RJ Barrett not shooting well, but I have to give RJ Barrett credit. At least he shot the basketball. Ben Simmons is 2 for 3 from the field, is so unaggressive. It's terrifying. Okay. He is scared to shoot the basketball. And I know there's Sixer fans listening to this podcast. Alert, told you so.
That's me. That's what I'm thinking.
But you would, I thought there would be some form of aggressive behavior, and I know he was going through something, but there's got to be more of an aggressive attitude on the court to get, and any net fan would say this. We're not asking for Ben Simmons to be the third wheel scorer or take all the, be the guy that's got the mid-ranger 3, but he's got to change. He's got to be better. The coaching staff has to be better. And that was a pathetic third quarter. So for the Knicks coming out with this incredible surge in the third, I mean, the Nets, they got outscored 40-28 in the third, 32-14 in the first. And it was maddening to see. So I'm jealous that the Knicks at least showed guts and came out and cared. It's like, how do you wait all season and not care? Kyrie Irving after the game with quotes of like, we have to show more energy. We have to do all these things. And he's right. But it's like, what are we waiting for? The Steve Nash can't get anything out of these guys. Nothing.
Yeah. Steve Nash reminds me the way you were talking about the clapping before is Jason Garrett. Remember Cowboy fans used to get so mad.
Very similar. It's a good
show to Jason Garrett. He's just clapping.
It's very similar.
Guys, good job. Yeah. And it's getting funny to me. And I hope, because they made such a big deal. Like I keep talking about this. They made such a big deal all off season. We can't fire Steve Nash and Sean Marks because, Kevin Durant, but too bad. Show up to camp. We can't fire them. And now you're like, oh my God, we got to fire these guys. So not Sean Marks, but Steve Nash, and it's hilarious to me. So I
bet it is. I bet it is dipshit, but it's really fucking Simmons, hysterical.
Ben Simmons, being scared to shoot and not playing well in his first real game back in 2 years is not surprising either. And Kyrie, you're being like acting like, whatever, big deal. That's not surprising either. So
I don't mind him. I actually kind of it's weird because he's got to call out Ben Simmons a little bit. Like there's a weird kind of in the middle here, right? Like I think the way the Sixers treated Ben Simmons was over the top and kind of over the top. But at the same time, the Nets can't go the other extreme and coddle him so much and be like, it's gonna you need tough love, right? Don't worry. somebody that gets in your face is like, hey man, Alex, fuck you. Like we need you to tweet more. You're not tweeting enough, Alex. Like, fuck you. You're not tweeting enough. Let me get in your face, but look at you man to man and say I'm doing this because I love you and I want you to do better. That he needs tough love, but no, it's coming from a place in his heart and not bullshit on the other extreme. Now, I don't know. There's nowhere in the net organization that can do that. It's going to be pat on the back bullshit.
Yeah, but it's kind of, if you compare it to the Knicks with RJ Barrett tonight, he had a terrible night shooting 3 of 18. You can pat him on the back. All right, RJ, you get him next game. Pistons at home on Friday. You got this one. Don't worry about it. We got your back. We'll protect him. Some Knicks fans are saying Thibs needs to call out RJ in the press conference. I'm like, he just had a bad game. Like, how dare you miss those open threes? Like, all right, man. Like, he knows. Like, it's not like he was lazy. He just couldn't hit a shot. Like, it's just it's crazy. Like, Randall had a great game and carried them most of the game. He was playing really well at a couple big and ones. He headbutted RJ Barrett in the chest after he had an and one. It was bizarre. And but then he had a couple of stupid fouls down the stretch, got himself into foul trouble, and then he fouls out in the overtime. So if you don't get those stupid fouls, you're in the game in overtime, even if that call in overtime was bad. And Knicks fans making excuses that John Morant block was a goaltend. That was so close. It was not worth reviewing. It's not a goaltend. I mean, it might have been off. It might have been a half a second. If you slow it down to the slowest possible slow-mo you could see, you might see it off the goal. It's not a goaltend, guys. It's not. You're not going to call that. And it might have been a foul because he knocked Brunson in the head. And John Morant, man, oh my God, what an annoying player. He just does all this fancy shit for no reason. Even I think it was overtime or late in the fourth.
Behind the back.
Yeah, behind the back in
traffic.
traffic.
They're up 2 or something. Yeah.
What? Like, you're just doing fancy shit for no reason. Like that, 3 cuts in your eyebrows trying to while out. But man, this is what you're doing.
But he is.
What's going on?
Is insane.
Yeah. He's an insane athlete, but he is annoying. He's like rolling the ball up all game, holding how when you do it at the
Grizzlies
end of the game.
Are annoying.
They're an annoying team. Desmond Bane's an annoying player. John Morant was rolling the ball up the court in the whole game to not let the shot clock start. So they had the full 24 to run their plays. It was just after a while, it's just like, dude, come on, man.
I think of I'm not sure if Knicks fans know this, but in the draft, he went second and then Barrett went third. And I just keep thinking, like, if he was a Knick and you say all this stuff, y'all would love him.
I would love it, of course.
Love it.
I would
LOV.
I wouldn't love the behind the back pass and traffic.
That you wouldn't
tie
like.
Game.
That you wouldn't like.
I would not like.
That you wouldn't like.
The trash talking, the dunking,
you'd love it.
Of course. And it's one of those things. But I don't know. Just back to Randall. Just don't get those stupid fouls. You won't put yourself in that position in overtime to get the bad call on you to make the 6.
Well, yeah. I mean, and the Barrett shooting, right? When he's 3 for 17, it's like Kyrie tonight, 6 for 19 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. He's not going to do that every night. But you'd be more concerned with Kyrie if he didn't take the shots, if he did, if he missed them and then he stopped shooting. So I think in a weird way, Barrett still being aggressive and shooting the ball is a solid thing. And from the excuse making crowd, I agree that when the Nets get Seth Curry and Joe Harris back and TJ Warren to a certain extent, but more the other guys, because we know what we're getting with them, that will help the Nets and definitely benefit them to be a better team. The problem, though, is they're always hurt. There's always something. You can't rely on them to be there. So as much as we can play when Joe and Seth come back, that will help. There is no evidence of reliability that they will both be on this roster at the same time playing for consecutive games. How can any Net fan have any faith in that? So yes, it's true. When they're there, it will help. But I don't think it would have mattered tonight. They got manhandled by Ingram, by Zion, Valanciunas, who is on the all beat the shit out of the Nets team. If you're playing DraftKings, use Valanciunas versus the Nets anytime. It's a value play. Always kills the
rebounding machine.
Always, him and Ennis Canner always kill the Nets. I mean, it's just that the rebounding, by the way, 61 to 39. So second chance points, just a disaster for the Nets tonight.
And it's funny you say that about the Nets not being able to rely on Joe Harris or these injured players to come back. Seth Curry, I think, was the other one you said, right? And
yeah, Seth and Joe.
JJ Redick was on First Take, and I saw the clips. I wasn't watching. And
you have to clarify.
I have to clarify. I'm not watching that crap. And he's on, and he says, I think the Nets are going to be the 6th seed in the East. And Stephen A. and Molly, whoa, how dare you criticize the Nets? You know, the Nets are going to the finals. We know that. They're the Nets. We're on ESPN. Everything has to be pro Nets all the time. You know, and JJ Redick's like, okay, yeah, Kevin Durant's great, but like, it's been a while and I haven't seen them do it. You know, so how can I say that they're going to do it if I haven't seen them do it? So, and it's true. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, you know, with Thibs. I haven't seen him change. So why would I think he's going to change? And he didn't change. Yeah. He played Isaiah Hartenstein 40 minutes tonight off the bench. You pay Mitchell Robinson in the offseason. He gets in a little bit of foul trouble. And then you play Isaiah Hartenstein 40 minutes. I know he was playing well, but the guy was hurt. He was playing hurt all game. Isaiah Hartenstein's getting beat up by Steven Adams all game. He was hitting those little floaters in the lane. He was playing well. He missed an open three, whatever. But like, my God, Mitchell Robinson had 5 fouls. You never saw him again. And it's just like, it's 6 fouls to get out, bro. Like, I don't know if Thibs knows this. It was insane, man.
I mean, I love this too, by the way. Like, hey, we can't trade Toppin or quickly in deals. They played a combined 29 minutes.
Yeah, it's great, man.
I mean, like,
well, Cam Reddish was on fire.
Cam Reddish was on fire. He was great, but I mean, it's just funny, and it just shows you too, like with Toppin, it's going to be really hard for him to get minutes. He's just not going to get minutes.
In Thibs' defense tonight, Randall was playing really well until the end of the game. He was playing really well. You couldn't sit him down, but you can play them together.
It was 34 minutes for Randall, 13 for Toppin. Even if Randall doesn't play as well as that, it's going to be 30 and 18. And that's just what you're going to get. Just what you're going to get.
The starting lineup, the beginning of the game was so boring. First of all, the Grizzlies have the worst home court advantage. Their fans are terrible. It was, like I said, I was joking, by the way, on Twitter.
The Nets had a great crowd tonight. Energetic.
It was like a Nets game.
Yeah, and I'll defend real quick. I'm interjecting. I'm going to subtweet you. The Nets crowd was great tonight. They were into it. They were. I mean, once they were down 30 in the third, like it got quiet.
I mean, of course,
but that's any arena. But yeah, go ahead with your dumb fucking joke.
Yeah, no, I said it was like the Grizzlies fans reminding me of the Nets fans, but something like that. But either way, at the beginning of the game, the Knicks offense was boring. It was lifeless. The Grizzlies were a step ahead, running up and down the floor. There was terrible transition defense. The offense wasn't flowing, and they got down big. You know why? Because their starting lineup has Evan Fournier and Julius Randle in it when you have better players on the bench. And I know Julius Randle played well, so I can't really trash him tonight. But the overall theme here is that lineup, that starting lineup that Thibs has to force his way into this somehow, is not good, man. And Quentin Grimes is hobbling and plays in the last preseason game, and now he can't play in the first game. Like, why did he play in the fucking preseason if he can't play in game one, man? But thank God he ran around and did laps for 15 minutes in the last preseason game. This is the guy that you couldn't trade for Donovan Mitchell, but you know what? Let's throw him out there at the end of the preseason game, like the Snoopy Bowl with Mark Sanchez. This is just, it's like a joke, man. Like, what are we doing? But at the same time, Knicks played well. They fought back. They I can't really trash them. They lost the game. They missed a couple big shots. Fournier had a good look at the end there in overtime, but you're not going to hit 2 like game tying threes at the end of the fourth quarter overtime. The odds of that happening are so slim. So
it is funny that Hardenstein led the Knicks in minutes. He's the only player that played 40.
He's a big free agent, man.
That is kind of fucking nuts. I mean, 40 minutes, like that's. We'll see the trend if this is something that happens where Hardenstein. Did you have on your bingo card tonight, Knicks fans, that your free agent center was going to play 40? Was that on your bingo card?
What kind of odds would you have gotten on DraftKings for 40 minutes or over for Isaiah Hartenstein?
Great odds.
Plus 20,000.
Wouldn't have to be doing bad weather fans. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, I quit my real job and just do this for fun for a living.
Yeah, man. I'm kidding. Bad weather fans is the relation. KD had 32. He played he was fine. He was KD. Kyrie missed shots. Simmons sucked. Patty Mills played fine. He played well. Mm-hmm. And the Claxton played well. But they were just so bad on the glass, man. It was so bad. So bad. It's so depressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crap.
We do 100. We're on episode 141. I wait all fucking, day for this. I wait, we all off season, all the drama, all of this. The Nets looked great in the last 2 preseason games. And then to come out with that lack of energy,
Right.
Okay. And then the third quarter to find a way to have even less energy. It's like Steve Nash went into the locker room and had a talk with the team. And he was like, hey, guys, that first quarter with your lack of energy, I'd love to see if you can find a new way to find a new low. Let's see if we can come out even more pathetic in the third quarter. Yeah, let's get down 25 points. Depressing. Just depressing. And it doesn't get easier for the Nets on Friday when they have the Raptors and then the Knicks, the Knicks home for the Pistons on Friday, which, the Knicks took care of Detroit in the preseason. Now it matters for real. We'll see what happens on that front.
Detroit like preseason.
Well, they did.
I know, it's just so funny.
I
just want to say something, the Raptors played the Cavs tonight and beat the Cavs 108-105, right? And I'm telling you that because Donovan Mitchell had 31 points, nine assists. And, Knicks had no use for him.
But and Toronto's one of those teams nobody talks about, but is going to quietly win tons of games because they're just so deep.
Their starting lineup is legit, man.
Oh, yeah.
With Siakam, OG. Siakam, I can't, Anunoby, right?
OG Anunoby.
There you go. Siakam, Anunoby. I can't pronounce his name. I know who he is, obviously. They have Scotty Barnes, Fred VanVleet, and Gary Trent Jr.
And they're young.
Yeah. And they got Precious off the bench, man. They got a squad, man.
They are not the Nets.
They got a coach too. That's won. You know what I mean? How many teams have a coach that's won a title? Man, like it's.
You want to play that game? All right, let's start. I'll go first. Spurs.
Doc Rivers, whatever team he's on. Clippers. Sixers. Yeah, there he is.
Steve Kerr.
Damn. I gotta look at no, I can't cheat. Oh, Spoelstra.
Spoelstra. Did he win with the Heat? I don't think they ever won when he was there.
Yeah, he did.
I'm just joking.
LeBron.
Yeah, I'm out.
I think we're out. Yeah, I think it's it.
I racked my brain.
Budenholzer, right?
No, that one didn't count.
Oh, okay. No,
that didn't count. We're not doing Budenholzer. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So fabulous first game for our teams.
Yeah, and the Yankees lost too, by the way. So 0-3 in New York tonight.
Can I tell you something, Alex? Fans won't be 0-4 coming up. You want to know why?
Why is that, Mike?
Because NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back. So tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings Stepped Up Same Game Parlays. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place the Stepped Up Same Game Parlay today. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet the NBA. And you mentioned the Western Conference game tomorrow. Tomorrow on the Eastern Conference side, Bucks at Sixers, Philly -4. I love the Sixers in this spot. The Bucks without Middleton. I expect Philly to rebound in a big way. They got smacked around by the Celtics. I would expect Embiid to have a monster game. I like Philly -4 in that. I like Philly to win big. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code BWF. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code BWF. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. It's funny, Alex, because it's only one game in the regular season, but there's something about opening day that magnifies everything.
Of course. Yeah.
And I think, for the Knicks, it's a loss, but I think I've already seen this on Twitter. Most Knicks fans are like, yes, but, and every right to feel that way. And then for Net fans, it's like, oh boy, that happened after all that. It's like not even competitive. I know we're all like, oh, New Orleans is going to be really good this year, but let's not they went into Brooklyn and beat them by 30. Right. I mean, at some point, respect given. I like their roster a lot, but they shouldn't go into Brooklyn and beat the shit out of you like that. But man, after one game, it's like, it just feels over. I mean, it's terrible to say that, and it's an overreaction, but it's just like, you're just like, I'm a little nervous to see Friday.
And Mike, we have a new segment on Bad Weather Fans with our new beat reporter, Lee Valentin. He covers the Knicks and the Nets. Right now, he's outside of the Barclays Center with a report on the Nets. Lee?
We're live outside the Barclays Center where the Pelicans just finished beating the brakes off of KD and the Flat Earthers. And the fans are fucking livid. A source close to the situation said the Nets were unable to find the chain after the bling ceremony. You gotta wonder if Steve Nash is gonna go home and do any more TikTok videos. Reporting live outside of the Clays for Bad Weather Fans Podcast, I'm Lee Valentin.
Thank you, Lee, for that report. Appreciate you taking some digs at the Nets. I mean, the TikTok video about Steve Nash is warranted. I look for, Lee obviously is a Knicks fan, but I look forward to you trashing your team and my team, and hopefully at the very end of this season, you're doing some video about the Nets being great, and you're telling me you know what, fuck it, no chance. It's going to just be more ripping of the Nets. I have no way to defend them. I have no way to defend them. Lucky for me, if let's imagine the Knicks came on this, that when you're coming in here sky high, it would have been a little rougher. But the Grizzlies saved my ass.
Yeah, they did. I mean, but the Knicks came away, man. Like I said, I'm not a big, like I said on Twitter, I'm not a big moral victory person, or overall I say this, I'm not a big moral victory person. But you know what? You took the Grizzlies to overtime. I know the Grizzlies were missing some players too, but you took the Grizzlies to overtime in Memphis after you're down almost 20 points, and you lost with, your best player shooting 3 of 18 from the field. So I'm not that upset tonight.
I get it.
I would have been more upset if they just rolled over and died.
Yeah, they're not the fucking 25. Nets who rolled over and died. I mean, they were just
at home.
At home. Yeah. Come out so flat, so bad, and it's a scary first game for the Nets, and it gets you nervous about what's to come for the future of this team. Even if, you hope they improve, you hope they get better. What did you make of Jalen Brunson's debut?
He looked all right. He got into foul trouble a little bit early, but he was, overall. Played well in the second half once he got comfortable. He's trying to learn the team. He's a new player on the team. He looked good. Didn't hit some shots. He got that shot blocked by John Morant down in crunch time, which was tough. Should have went up a little stronger. But overall, he played well. He was moving the ball. I would have liked to see Mitchell Robinson on the floor a little more with him, and maybe Obi on the floor a little more with him, to see how those players who need point guards to play well would play with a point guard. But I'm sure we'll see. It's game 1 of 82. We'll see what happens. It's too soon to go crazy, but overall, the offense with Fournier and Randall in the beginning of the game and Brunson looked like shit. It did. They were staying close because it was still early in the game. They were kind of tied or within a few points up and down for a little while until the Grizzlies went on some big run and put some distance in between them. And then it's just then they came back, whatever. But Brunson overall was okay. I'll give him a B for a grade, maybe B minus.
Yeah, he had those threes in the corner that he missed late. Yeah. I think it was in the overtime. They all looked gassed in that overtime.
Yeah, it's first game.
Everybody looked just extremely, extremely tired.
2 years in a row, Knicks in the overtime in the first game of the season.
Yes, that was the Celtic. Yeah. That was the Celtic. That was the Bing Bong game.
That was the Bing Bong game.
Man, I feel old. That feels like just like yesterday. That was the Bing Bong game.
Yeah, that's the
Bing Bong coming back. They should bring it back.
No, Bing Bong is dead.
Bing Bong is dead. Man, that's just kind of weird that was a year ago. This whole night feels surreal to me, man. Like we've done a great job with Bad Weather Fans, continuing it over the summer, had some awesome interviews, the whole thing. But it's just kind of like weird to come here now and do the podcast, and we're talking and reacting to a game, and the game for the Nets was so lifeless. The game for the Knicks was a heartbreaker. It just feels like an extension of everything that happened. And on a negative side for the Knicks, and because I want to, the whole thing with the Knicks last year was the year before, the year they were the 4 seed, was they found ways to win the close games. And then last year, there was how many games back and forth that were like tonight, where it could have gone in either direction, but they lost, which was the opposite of the year before. So it's like, here the Knicks go again, where there's a winnable game. They come back, they fall flat. Here are the Nets who come back and just have no energy. I guess it sucks because I love doing bad weather fans, but at some point, and I'll even just say this from like a perspective of all of us together, one basketball community, me feeling for you. I'm not, I was gonna, someone's gonna, Coonies is gonna grab this like quote, you feeling me. Like the point is, at some point, there's got to be some form of positivity turned around where we're doing bad weather fans and we're talking about wins together. Because if we had to take out of the 141, how many of these we did after someone went back and was like, so, out of the 141 episodes, the ones that came after a game, what are the records there? It would be awful. I would go more of L than W.
It's true. That's probably true. And that's why we're bad weather fans. But, we can think about the Jets and the Giants as a positive for the Knicks and the Nets, where at some point, it might take 10 years, but at some point, the Knicks will get some breaks.
Are you going to be nice to the Jets yet? Are you still?
I'm going to be nice. No, I'm going to be nice. That was a big win. That was a good win. Zach Wilson played like shit, but it was a good win. They got 2 block kicks, which never happens. So, I mean, you know what? They won the game and they won it convincingly. And, on the road and in a place, it's
hard to win
play.
There.
So yeah. So
even the
I'm
Packers
happy.
Do suck. Like you went into Lambeau and won. That's a great win.
Exactly. I mean, the Packers might end up like 3 and
I don't think so.
3-14.
Not with Rodgers. I can't imagine that.
I'm just saying it's just it was a big win. Yeah, it was. But you know what? I want to win a game without having some miracle shit happen, like 2 block kicks, but that's not miracle shit. That's just kind of insane. But I love it. I love the win. It was Breece Hall looks like a star. He's the best running back the Jets have had since Curtis Martin. Right. He's better than Thomas Jones. I love him. Garrett Wilson looks great. Elijah Moore didn't get any targets, but he'll get some as it goes on, as Zach gets comfortable. I'm very, very intrigued and happy with the Jets. Trust me, I'm really, really excited. It's just
and don't give.
I'm trying not to get too excited based on the types of wins that they've had this season, because they're playing Denver this week too. And guess what's going on with Denver? Russell Wilson has a hurt hamstring and he sucks. It's just but you could win again and be 5-2 and have it's 5-2 and that's it. You don't give it back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
not everybody is the Patriots dynasty. Like this is how you win games.
Of course.
This is what it's going to be every week. Every week you can be like, oh, that miracle play this. No, that's just winning football. That happens.
It's not just winning football.
Yeah, no, you're just calling it out like, oh, that was a fluke play every week. Well, if it's happening every week, they're winning games.
They're the cardiac Jets.
Like, what do you like the Giants? Oh, they just had another fourth quarter comeback. They're only good when they're down, and then they come back and win. No, that's how they're winning games.
Mm-hmm. No, listen, it's different because we don't have to go through the games. You know them. The Browns win was a miracle. Then the third string quarterback. I mean, then the rookie quarterback gets his first start after getting no first live action after getting no reps all week in the middle at halftime. Then they play a third string quarterback in Miami, and then they win with 2 block kicks in Green Bay. I mean, it's great, and they're winning the games, and then you can't throw them back. But I'm not going to get I'm so pumped up. I'm so excited about the team, and I hope they win again and go 5-2 on Sunday versus the Broncos. But am I saying that they're a guaranteed playoff team? Am I saying that they're here to stay? No, I can't say that.
I'm not asking you to say that. I'm not asking you to say that. Take every moment, enjoy it. Like I look at the Giants, they're 5-1, but I think the expectations have changed for you. You're now not going into this. What were your expectations going into the season, Giant fans? They've changed.
5-6 wins, right?
They've changed. Yeah. You're now thinking we have to be a wild card team or the season's a failure. Would you agree?
For the Jets, season failure? No, that's not
after being 4-2
I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. Failure. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs.
It's like the Mets. Your expectations changed after how their season went.
Well, I mean, the Mets were 10 games over 10 games up in first place.
It's the same idea.
Yeah,
you're over exceeding expectation. You got to change your mindset, right? The Mets season was a failure. The Jets now all of a sudden are 4-7 after being 4-2. That's a fucking disaster.
But the Mets had expectations going into the season. Would they sign Scherzer? You know what I mean? And they got Marte, and that's a little different than the Jets coming into the season with no expectations whatsoever. They're thinking they're going to stink again, and they win a couple miracle games. You know what I mean?
You just said your running back's better than Thomas Jones. Your expectations changed.
Yeah, but I liked Breece Hall before the season too. But I still thought they'd win 4 or 5 games. So, I mean, I could be wrong about the amount of wins, sure. But I just don't – I can't say the Jets have arrived yet, especially when the coach still stinks. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying they've arrived, but if they're winning games, the expectations change. Just like the Giants. they're 5-1 now. If they don't make the playoffs, I'd be really disappointed because that means they probably ended up going 2 and whatever.
Right.
No, I hear you. Start this hot. You can't just die down.
No, now the Jets have to beat the Broncos Sunday. The Jets have to beat the Broncos now Sunday. Like they have to. Like if they don't, then the rest of the last 4 wins were for nothing. If they lose them,
Giants can't take care of the Jags. That's disappointing. Last I checked, I think Jacksonville was favored.
Yeah,
which I thought was surprising.
It is surprising, but you know what? Football is nuts, and we were just talking about this before the show. How the odds makers are. Yeah, Giants are getting 3 points. So yeah, just because they're on their road and Jacksonville's had some tough losses.
All right, they've been competitive.
Just maybe they don't think the Giants are as good as they've been playing. You know what I mean? They think they're going to fall back to earth a little bit, which is possible.
But
So
what were you saying before the show?
I was saying the odds makers are so on the money with these point spreads. It's crazy. The Knicks. What would the Knicks lose by today? What was the score? Was it?
They
4
lost.
or 5
They
points?
were +4. They lost by 3.
Did they? I thought it was.
It was +4. They lost by 3.
Yeah, 4. I saw 4.5 also. So
Okay.
So how great is that? Like just being able to nail it like that every time.
The Pelicans covered.
Yeah, Pelicans covered. There's no 20-point spread. One of my favorite things to do. One of my favorite things to do in the NBA season is when there's a game on late and you see like this score is like 20 points or like 7 minutes left.
Yeah,
I take the team that's losing plus 17 points, and then I just hope that team just comes back and hits some garbage threes in the game. I'm not going to put big money on it, but like, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of shit. That's how you can win and clean up.
You do that with the Nets tonight?
No, but I did that with the Knicks Nets last year with the Cam Thomas game when the Knicks went up big, like 25 points, and the Nets came back and won. At halftime, I put money on the Nets to cover. I didn't think they'd win, but I made some money. So it wasn't so bad. It was a pretty shitty game, though. I can't say. I gotta say
that's Did you enjoy the net loss? That make the Knicks loss a little better?
I did enjoy the Nets loss. I was happy for Zion, man. I'm happy that he's up there and playing. I was kind of pissed off. I passed on him in fantasy too once I saw how well he was playing because he tweaked his ankle last week or something like that. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want to draft a guy that's just going to be hurt all year on and off. So I was like, let me pass. I'm like, fuck. I guess he still could be hurt all year, but still.
Yeah, Zion tonight, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 11 for 22 from the field, 30 minutes. This is the last thing I'll say about them because the Nets are just making me mad. They just always looked like they were a little more aggressive, missed shots, got offensive rebounds, even when the Nets were boxing out. It was just dog shit. Absolute dog shit.
Yeah, but you know what? Who the Nets got next?
They got the Raptors on Friday.
Oh, Raptors on Friday.
Which will be interesting. Let's see if the Nets try.
That's right.
Let's also see if Joe and
starting lineup again if you want. We can do
that. You can hit the rewind feature on the podcast. Hit the minus 15 thing for
download the podcast
32 times
as much as you want. Yeah.
But let's see if Joe and Seth are playing.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks lose, Nets lose,
Yankees lose.
Yankees lose, make it Alex feel a little bit better.
Yes.
But both of our teams go down tonight. Thank you to our sponsor, DraftKings. Use promo code BWF. Get involved in the action. Check it out. Information is there for you on the show notes. Alex, good luck to your Jets this weekend. I don't care about them like I do about the other team in the town. It's just I legit want them to win to make you happy. I mean that.
Thank you.
Good luck. And this is your turn where you go. I hope the Giants win. Go for it.
I don't hope the Giants win, but good luck to you. And I'm just happy the Jets play at 4:00 for once. It's not 1:00 on Sunday every Sunday.
Well, the 1:00 game's great.
Yeah, they are, but sometimes we want something different. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem with having a bad team.
Tape it, and then watch it 4 and not tell anybody.
It's impossible. That's impossible because especially with football, with the million text messages or just like walking by something and seeing something, it's just impossible. For football, it's impossible. A basketball game, you can do it. A baseball game, you can do it. But football, it's impossible.
I started the Nets a little late, and basically, not to get too deep, I muted everybody I know, but there was one person that snuck through. It was Sean Marash. I didn't mute him. Didn't think he would text me, and all of a sudden I was like, it's impossible to mute everybody. I deleted the Twitter app. I did. That was a good move.
And you can't do the do not disturb when you have a baby.
And a wife. I mean, and a wife, a family,
wife and baby, and a family that might need to text you or Something's going on.
That's
pick up
right,
milk,
right.
you know, or God forbid there's an emergency, you know.
Pick up
something.
milk. What is this? The cliche? Pick up milk.
Yeah.
First of
That's
all, let me
what
tell
they
you
always
something.
say. I mean, I don't have kids, but like whenever there's like a hurricane coming, we gotta get milk.
If yeah,
Like, you know,
if I pick up milk at 9 at night on a Wednesday, I'll be like, let's just Uber it. We got the net pick up milk. I can't imagine walking in. Is it 2% or whole? Oh my God, net's down 18.
Yeah, but then you blow the game gets blown for you while you're at the gas station getting milk and it's on the TV and
Right. Or the
like,
gas attendant's like, oh man, nets look awful. You interested? All right.
Thanks a lot, bro.
The Bad Weather Fans, episode 141.
Thanks
we'll
to
see.
Lee.
Thank you, Lee. Thank
Yeah.
you for that as well. Check Lee out. And here we go
Lee
again.
Valentin, he's everywhere. He's on
Bad
YouTube,
Weather Fans.
TikTok, downtown, does stand up, everything.
Our team sucked.